Hey everybody, I'm January,
And I'm Mars.
and this is Femmes at Large presents Femininity and whatever we want to talk about. Today we have a very special guest. We have Liz Mputu here with us today.
What's good? What's
Amazing digital
good?
artist. You go ahead and Google her when you're ready because she's just amazing. And we brought her here today to talk about femininity and self esteem, which I think was a poignant topic that we all were just like, yo, we got to talk about it. So we brought Liz on the podcast today to talk about it. But before we get into all of that, we're going to get into the media. Mars, what's going on? What is happening? Like, what is it?
What is it? But specifically, damn, we have a different setup, so I'm gonna pull this to my mouth, and it's not gonna be as dramatic. But Mayor Adams, you bald bitch! I told you I was coming. I told you your day was coming. I told you to count your freaking days. I told you, didn't I? I said it, y'all.
You called it. You called it,
Lo and
friend.
behold, the day has come. If for whatever reason I can only manifest the worst, I can never manifest good things in my life, but I can manifest bad things in other people's lives. And finally, Mayor Adams has been indicted. Eric Adams, what even did he do? I didn't read the article. All I saw was that charges are coming,
Yes.
and that's as much as I need to know. What were you? Where were you when you found out Eric Adams was being?
Yeah,
I know.
I was, where was I? I think, oh, I was somewhere, but I saw it on Twitter. Immediately saw it on Twitter, and I'm like, what is going on? Basically, him taking funds from different, I think from
Oh,
the Turkish government
mhm.
illegally. Um, and there was like, I know a couple months ago, I had seen on TikTok where there was like some group chat that was found speculating where he was talking to other, like people with money and
Mm.
different like higher ups and like taking their money supposedly allegedly. I can't remember fully what the TikTok was, but this was coming. He knew it. I think it's really crazy seeing how he's responding. Like he really is like 10 toes down. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
Bringing out the congregation. It's really strange, and it's gonna be that much sadder when he's in jail. But you know,
Right.
All the sweeter.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like, it's very interesting to see everything happening in such quick succession and like what like that implies for what's happening to American like governance at large. Because
hmm
they also mentioned that there was a a ex New York judge and the FBI had raided his home and then he ended up unaliving himself.
mm,
Wow.
So it's so interesting to see the range where you have some people who are going with the denial, like, no, this isn't happening at all. And then you have others who are obviously preparing for what they recognize is going to be a much bigger deal than we as like civilians are
mm,
truly able to pick up on, because they understand it as a system. We think that, oh, it's just this person here and that person there, but they're all interconnected. Like you said, with the awareness that Mayor Adams had been in these group chats with other individuals who are also probably committing like white collar crime is just fascinating. And then it's like not at all lost on us that didn't Eric Adams give Diddy the like key to New York only a year ago? Wasn't that him?
yes, yes, it definitely
That
was. It's
big
just
groupie ass.
Oh my gosh, bald bitch was insane. I was like, yes.
so crazy, bro. It's like prophetic almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's freaking wild, but good riddance. Hopefully, the cost of the fare will go down for the train. So,
It won't.
that's true.
It won't. But a fun fact, in case you were curious as to how this investigation was started, apparently we have to thank Sabrina Carpenter, because of her music video. I think it was Taste or Girl. I don't know. But guess what? I'm a
right.
woodworker. What they call the carpenters, I'm one of them now. Um, apparently because of her music video, she had a priest. There was a priest in it, and there was something shady going on with the priest. And through investigating him and his link to Eric Adams, that then started the investigation.
That's
Everybody, thank
insane.
Sabrina. Say thank you, Sabrina. It's crazy.
Thank you,
Thank you,
That's what I'm at.
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Like, none of these words belong together. Like, none of these words are in the Bible.
Yeah. It's crazy because I'm starting to become a Sabrina Carpenter fan
No,
too.
she's
Because I just
eating.
watched. No, I
Is she
watched
good?
because I watched the Christina Aguilera thing. And people were kind of roasting her because of like, hear me out, hear me out. Look, I'm an advocate. Okay, we have heard the rumors of how Christina Aguilera is, right? We know she
What
liked
is
to be
she
the
like?
star. She liked to be the star. She could be a little mean at times, allegedly. Okay, that's what we heard. What sense would it make for Sabrina to come in and try to like sing down? Like, hear me out. Hear me out. I feel like she was trying to be respectful. She a fan. She coming in there like it wasn't terrible. I'm trying to figure out like why people were mad. She's not gonna sing like Christina Aguilera. Like we don't want her to sing like Christina Aguilera. Like I want her to be Sabrina, and I really appreciated that because I was like, oh, okay, like you got your own thing going, but then I want to hear Christina's verse. So I don't know. That's how I felt about it. So I became a fan after that. I know it's
Oh
contrary
wow.
to popular belief. Everyone's really roasting her right now online, and I feel bad for her. Cause I'm like, why y'all mad? I don't know.
I really think it's all in good fun, only because like it is funny to think that the two of them were going to be singing on some sort of similar level. Sabrina can sing down. I recently found a video of her. She did like a little cover. She was just like in her room, real acoustic, unplugged, and she can sing low key, like in the same way that Billie Eilish can sing. Like when you really like hear them off of the track, like they have vocals, they just don't really. But Sabrina can sing, but she was not finna outsing Christina Aguilera.
She wasn't gonna, but we didn't want her to, and that's the point I was trying to make.
No, that's valid. That's valid.
Oh wow, this is like a whole nother world for me. My like YouTube algorithm showed me like a content creator. I don't know if it's a collective or whatever, but they're called We Black People Love Paramore, and like they made a recent post called Black People Love Sabrina Carpenter. So I was just like, what is this? But here it is. Y'all are explaining it to me right now. That's fascinating.
No, she's really good.
I'm gonna have to get into it. I know she dates that one guy, that one actor that I'm a fan of. That's all I got.
Let me look it up.
That espresso song? She ate
espresso? That. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The espresso. No, she's eating low key.
No, she is.
Very cute. Like, no, I'm living. But that was Eric Adams' Rest in Piss. Moving on. So getting into some more, a little bit more messy tea. Cardi and Offset officially call it quits. I'm not holding my breath, but apparently she might be done for real. I am unfortunately too tapped into this because literally every few months I'm like, is she finally done yet? And apparently she is. So she did 72 too many times, and she's done. And it's been quite public, he has been, because I think it's just more of an ego thing, and I'm sure we'll get into this more in like the self-esteem part of this pod, but he has been doing the specifically straight black man thing, is to just put his baby mother on blast and make fun of her and act as if he is the winner in this little, like, you have 6 children spread across, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not much to be celebrating in this situation, but to catch everybody up to speed, he cheated, she cheated back. She apparently, the whole why everybody's up in arms about her right now is that she said, yeah, I was pregnant when I cheated back.
Wild. What did the baby do? Baby just trying to grow in peace. And look, I'm all for it, but damn that baby.
Being devil's advocate, a part of me thinks that she said that to get under his skin. I don't truly
yeah.
But that was kind of her probably trying to get back. And even if she did,
who cares? Like I'm like, y'all know biology, it not gonna make a difference. Like
the baby don't know nothing. They don't know
nothing. They don't feel nothing. They don't see nothing. They don't hear nothing. They fine.
They're fine.
Yeah, in reality, pregnant women have sex all of the time with their partners. So just because you leave your relationship, it doesn't mean you should be penalized. But honestly, if somebody was pregnant with me, please don't fuck nobody else.
But what? But
Please,
for okay.
let my spirit do its thing. Because what if that nigga is crazy? Now I gotta deal with his energy too. My daddy already set me up for failure.
But friend, like on some regular stuff, like I know you in medical shit, like
Yes.
does having sex with a man during pregnancy, does it affect anything? Like it doesn't,
No,
right?
it's actually great for the mother, especially
Yeah.
because she's receiving pleasure. It's helping to de-stress. Like it's completely safe, no harm, no foul. But the spirits.
I hear you. Me being an Aries, being evil, that has nothing to do with Aries. I'm not including January in that. But me personally, yeah, I feel like everything you do to me, I'm gonna do back to you twice as bad.
Right. There's nothing worse than that. He won't be able to sleep for the rest of his life.
Nah, he's been sick to his stomach. No, he is fully like crashing out. He's publicly crashing out. Like he just this one thing. I think it was a comment on like a shade room post, being like, "I won. You my baby mama. Blah blah blah. I already won." Basically, like that childish act. I still hit. Like what?
Right.
To the mother of two, or I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but like every time he cheated, I'd be like, she finally done. I turn around, she pregnant. So I'm like, oh my God, like it better be the last time, dude. I'm not playing with you. Because one thing I can't say, it got very parasocial because I know too many, thankfully no babies, but it's just too many people in my life where they will sit there and dog that man and cry, oh no, and keep me up at night, and then the next day you laid up with him, and I'm supposed to just be all kikiing and acting like I didn't hear you for the past 2 weeks about. I don't want to hear it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like leave, go back, don't say anything, just shut up.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, it was given that. I was just like, please, girl, please stop. And she did. I hope.
I know, because in reality, you're so right. Like, I've definitely myself been in relationships where my obsession with wanting it to work so that it proves that, like, I've done all I can keeps me in a situation for far much longer than I need to be. And that effort isn't even, like, honored or respected by my partner. If anything, they look at it as an excuse to keep treating you poorly because they're like, oh, this person has no boundaries. There's no need for me to respect you if you're accepting this. And that's not to put the blame on Cardi whatsoever. But I will say for like being unable to separate, now look what's happened to your career. All of this time and energy you put into your relationship. Where's the second album, Cardi? You over here turning out looks for Paris Fashion Week, and it's like, this is who you really are, but now you have to play catch up with yourself. And I think that, I mean, honestly, hate to bring it up, but Moa Lola and her whole Ian Connor thing, I'm looking at it the same way. I'm like, why would you align yourself and your brand? And these men are smart. Same thing with Offset. It was when Cardi was popping that he took her moment and proposed to her on stage so he could be a part of it. Men can be so vampiric, especially when it comes to their egos and self-esteems. They want to cage women that they feel like they can't control, you know? And so, unfortunately, it's the women who end up suffering for it. It's really, really tragic. It breaks my heart, honestly.
Nah, it really does.
It's sad.
Vampiric? My God.
Like Offset is a whole vampire.
My dog a dictionary on this thing.
No,
look.
like, they literally suck your life force. They see you shining, and they're like, how do I siphon that out of this woman?
Yeah. It's really sad. Like, I feel like also from just like us talking about it prior, just like about self-esteem, it's just like, where would we be if like men especially were just secure in themselves and didn't feel like they had to put on or project to just make sure they're not seen as feminine, like, or you know, like, where would Cardi be if she had a supportive partner who just didn't cheat on her religiously and took care of his kids, all of them? Like, it gave them ample amount of quality time. I don't know, it's just sad.
And wasn't in secret competition with her.
Oh,
right.
What?
But don't want to admit it. But don't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying?
Clock that T. Because what's the last Offset song that charted?
Yeah, she went from being Cardi's, a part of the Migos. Everyone was like, "Oh, Cardi and the Migos," to Offset being Cardi's husband.
Mm-hmm.
Men do
Wait,
not like that.
friend, is it true? I had heard. Did she say that she slept with Takeoff allegedly?
That
I
was
did not hear that. Oh my gosh, that was fake.
I saw it on Twitter. It's fake.
Yeah,
Okay. Whew.
because Cardi's petty,
like,
but she doesn't strike me as someone who would go that low. That's kind of a lot. Even if she did, I don't think she would publicly admit it to hurt the family.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Damn, rest in peace, Takeoff though.
no, for real.
Yeah.
He was the only one with some sense, to be real with you.
Let's talk about it.
I love Takeoff.
Literally. Me too.
And he was
Aw.
the best rapper.
He was the best one.
It's
He
because
was my
Quavo,
fave.
We said what?
Quavo don't be talking about nothing.
At all. At all.
But that was the topics, y'all. That was the hot topics.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I love the Eric Adams one. That me. I gotta go look up that music video. I'm gonna be up all night. I'm like, did you see this?
She's in a church. I know that much.
All right, bet.
Yeah. All right, friends. Well, yeah, so that was the media segment. Thank you so much, Marz, for getting that together for us. And now we're going to talk about femininity and self-esteem. We have Liz Mputu here. Liz, first off, just brag on yourself a little bit. What have you done? Who are you? Who is Liz?
That's so real. Yeah, I mean, wow, it's so crazy to be doing this episode during a time where like my self-esteem is so deflated. So this was like a really great practice actually for me to build my esteem in preparation for this. But I would say for the most part, I'm like a creative online, like y'all. Somebody who grew up in a time where we got to like leverage the internet to make connections with one another and benefited from it, and is continuing like to carry the conversation through these mediums and also exploring new avenues, mostly so that we can champion self-expression as a healing modality, and so we can keep like the fuck shit going and dismantle the system one troll at a time, by providing with the relevant information. So that's what we're here doing now.
Amen. We appreciate your service, friend. Thank you for that.
Okay, we out here.
Right, because, like, I think it's important to have self-expression. I feel like talking to you, like, you always remind me of that, and I think it's just healing. So I'm happy that you're doing that through Levels Healing, too.
Thank
as
you.
well. So yeah, but yeah, just a little bit about Liz. So we're gonna jump into it. Essentially, I was inspired to this episode because I read the book. It's called Rock My Soul, and it's by Bell Hooks, and it's about Black people and self-esteem, and she like breaks down the different systems that we live in. Of course, they always end up being white, patriarchal, heteronormative societies where they tell us like this is what you have to have in order to have great self-esteem, or like they take things away from you, especially from the Black community in general and from women in general. They take that from you so that your self-esteem is just trash. And even the people that are supposedly like up on the totem pole are like supposedly like the perfect image of like white patriarchal like in the society, like they're still suffering with their self-esteem because of the things that they have to do. I wanted to talk to y'all and like make it more anecdotal, like what are some experiences that y'all have had with your self-esteem, and like how's that journey been for you guys?
Oof.
Whatever you're comfortable sharing, it don't have to be too deep. I know it sounded deep, but it don't have to be.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, just keeping a service level. For at least this past year. So many things are attributing to it. We talked about a lot of them in the last Fatphobia Part 2 episode. And yeah, it's just getting more difficult to maintain an air of like not caring. I don't know like a fancy way to say that, but like
Mm.
I'm, can't let them see you sweat. Is what I like to think. Like you can't get in my
Mm.
head, but like cuz like up here is
Mm.
like it's just endless screaming, Like it's been rough like this past year just trying to just, act as if everything that's going on as far as beauty standards have not been affecting me.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but it definitely it's gotten much worse. Even on just like simple things, just like the deepness of my voice. Like I was talking about this with
Mm.
January on like a private conversation. I don't know if I did, but like getting consistently misgendered because I do have a deeper voice
Mm.
has been, ooh, it's like number one on my list that like chips away at my, excuse me, personal self-esteem. So yeah, it's been a year, and it's
Mm.
only September.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so real. That's so real. Honestly, I really feel for you because I think that a lot of people don't recognize that your self esteem is what allows you to just navigate a day, a
Mm.
moment. And what you're talking about is like an accumulation of like microaggressions from invisible people because it's
Yes,
society.
it's
And
society.
yeah, and it's really unfair to expect of you to be able to, like you said, bypass that, act as if everything is okay, and then perform at an optimal level, and then
Mm.
also convince everybody else that you're worthy while they're telling you that you're not.
Ooh,
Mm.
Um, so I feel that, especially because we're not getting any assistance with even the smallest things. But if I can't afford a carton of eggs, why should I put in the time and effort to make myself presentable to be accepted by people who in
Mm.
reality don't care if I live or die?
Mm.
So it's unfortunate because I think that beauty, like it truly becomes the world. It's not so much about
Mm.
uh, like an attraction that we have to one another, but like just an enjoyment of being alive and like celebrating that and honoring that. And I think that uh, growing up in kind of like the club kid scene, like in queer nightlife, that's when I first got to really experience true beauty because it wasn't
Mm.
about these like normalized standards. It was about us uncovering ourselves, unraveling ourselves, being campy, being cunty, being like
Mm.
whatever, and like just showing up and knowing that you
Mm.
were going to be honored for that. And in fact, like the more outlandish you were with it, the better because we
Mm.
wanted people to show their power because it then empowered us.
Mm.
So it's really, like I said, unfair to like have that taken away from you, have that like robbed of you, and then again being pushed down simultaneously by society who
Mm.
wants you to overexert yourself on behalf of them. It's slavery. It's a mental enslavement that exists.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and then, it's again a part of capitalism because then now you're in the type of mentality where you feel like you have to buy certain things in order to accommodate for
Mm-hmm.
what you're being told isn't enough. But Regina Spektor has a song, and the lyric is, "I've got a perfect body, but sometimes I forget I've got a perfect body, 'cause my eyelashes catch my sweat." Yes, they do. They do. And it's like, for real though. Why are you guys asking so much of me? My
Yeah.
eyelashes catch my sweat. The body is doing what it
Exactly.
needs to do.
Exactly.
That's it. And if I decide to put a little glimmer sparkle on this, then you're so lucky. But just be happy that we're here existing because so much can go wrong in a matter of a second. So it's trivial to put it on people when in reality it's never going to be enough. And that's what I appreciated you bringing up in the last episode, even with Lizzo. People hated her
Mm.
when they perceived her as too fat, and now they hate her because she's losing the weight. Like, if
Can't
that's what you
win.
said, it was just people hating Lizzo for being confident in Lizzo. That's what it really was.
Exactly. No, it literally is because I feel like you saying that, Liz, like I feel like I would love for us to be okay with just existing, and I think that's the struggle, because it's like being black, being queer, being a woman, being non-binary, like your existence is like so terrible to society. I don't get it. Like, just because I don't fit this norm, and it's just kind of like, what would it be like if we knew that we could just be happy being ourselves, and like we could just show up, and like if you want to get dressed up, you can, but if you don't, you'll know that you'll be like loved regardless. And like, I guess that's the self-esteem, right? That's kind of like the, okay, like how can I intrinsically have that despite all of the things telling me I'm not shit, or I'm not supposed to be the shit, you know?
Right.
Like, which is really sad. I feel like our generation, or this time period, is cool because I feel like there's more labels for things and more like wording for types of expression. But I also feel like with the help of social media and capitalism, that it's kind of harder to form your identity because you're still kind of in different boxes. Like, we claim we're not in these like gender identities and these like in like whatever, but sometimes I do still struggle with, okay, like, is this too masculine? Is this too feminine? Like, how will I be perceived? How can I get this person to recognize my pronouns if I dress this way or that way? Like, you know, it's just strange. So I don't know, that resonated with me. I don't know if y'all experienced that too, but yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's getting real weird in the gender expression realm for me. getting too, it's getting too complicated. Um, there's this talk.
It's becoming
If I
a
can find
lot.
it, I do. But it was basically like, am I a girl? Sometimes. Am I that nigga? Always. Am I a little guy? You know, usually. And it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting difficult, especially with at least the expression part. Because there are times that I do definitely align spiritually more masculine,
Mm-hmm.
but that all my parts just visually don't line up with that. But then also because of misogynoir, I'm gonna be perceived as masculine no matter what I do a lot of the time. So I'm like, am I subconsciously doing it because I know I'm going to be perceived that way anyway, or do I actually want to? And then if I want to, then what is that going to look like for me? And then how am I going to satisfy that want to express myself that way without being like, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what
Yes.
you mean.
So it's been
Yeah.
really weird. I'm like, do I just dress like a girl just because? Because I do love being a black woman. I'm a black woman before I'm an American. Before I'm a human being, I'm a black woman.
Yes.
So intrinsic to
Yeah.
my being and my like spirit. But then also like, I do hate being a woman. Period. But I don't ever want to be perceived as a man.
I'm done.
I'm so like the aversion to being assimilated with anything that has to do with male, not masculinity, maleness.
Yeah.
Is striking. If there are, what is it called, misandrous, if it does exist, I am it. So I could not.
That's me.
I could not be associated with anything that has to do with the male form, but
Right.
they're gonna call me a dude half the time anyway. So I'm like, what do I?
Yeah. No, that's so heavy. I honestly, I definitely resonate with that because, and also I think that's why it's so important to focus less on the labels and the titles and more on the conversation. Because when we take the time to sit and listen to each other, we get to hear the nuance in our experiences. Whereas like some of the things that you said, I was like, oh, that's like spot on. Like, I also feel like I'm that nigga oftentimes, and I'll immediately associate it with masculinity. And I think that's okay. But then there are also, there was a point for me where I realized that my masculinity was like performative in a toxic way. And so when you say, well, what does it actually mean for me? Like, that's where I really align with you. It's like, okay, once we separate ourselves from the performance of being a man, what is masculinity and how does it feel safe for us? And how do we express it without now being pigeonholed to our dictation of that in that one moment, because it's constantly evolving, like the way that we express our genders.
Mm.
Um, and I even noticed that when I was non binary, in a way, it helped to encompass everything that I felt, but then created like further separations because, again, everybody had a different interpretation and definition of what that was supposed to be like
Mm.
for me. And if I wasn't, again, meeting the expectations of the community who all had very different ideals for me, then I
Yeah.
just felt re traumatized all over again to the point where
Mm.
I just stopped associating with non binary in general. But it was less because I didn't align, but because I interpreted like transness and being non binary more to do with like how I feel within my body. Am I okay inside
Mhm.
of my body?
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have trans people be very vocal about the fact that, well, you know, unless you get surgeries or unless you're on T, like unless you
Mm.
feel like there's something wrong with your body, then you're
Hmm.
not that. Because
Really?
they wanted, yeah, because you know, there is the conversation around like trans gatekeeping about medical transitioning,
Mm.
and people feel, well, you know, if you don't have that gender dysmorphia, then your experience isn't the same.
Hmm.
And it was during like a time where we were giving more space for trans people to just like articulate what their
Yeah.
experience was. And I wanted to honor my sisters, and I was like, you're right, like I'm definitely cisgender in the sense that I don't feel like I'm in the wrong body. Like I'm okay with
Mhm.
my body, but I don't also align with these definitions of gender that I'm feeling like I
Yeah.
have to be held to either. So it leaves this weird gray area. And I'm glad that y'all
Mhm.
are talking about it now, where it's like, what is the language that we're using? Is it actually more exclusive than inclusive?
Mm.
And how
Yeah.
are we allowing, yeah, just these different expressions and understandings of what our like gender is for each individual? It's confusing.
No, yeah. When you said that, it made me think of. I think I'd seen a tweet at some point where it was saying that like someone's friend had stopped going by they them pronouns, not because they didn't identify, but more so because of people not honoring the pronouns and having to like go through explaining and stuff. And I wonder sometimes like how much society has a hand in like how we see ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in transness too, like because I identify as trans mask, so it's just like I don't experience crazy body dysmorphia, but I do experience like gender expression. Like how does that look? Like if I decide to not look this way, like is that going to be an issue? Like I don't know, like and having to explain it to people constantly. But I think one thing also too in the book that Bell Hooks talks about is how important community is and being vulnerable with people who you can be vulnerable with. And like the other day I went to it was like a trans mask like basketball team like league thing, and we were playing pickup, and it was just so cool just seeing the different types of trans people, like, and it just was like really inspiring because I'm like, okay, like it took a load off of me because I was just like, I don't have to look or present one way, like you know it, you see it, but sometimes when we're on our phones all the time, it's all just like this is just the perception instead of like actually going on in the community, actually talking to people like, oh shoot, like okay, like I vibe with this, I vibe with that, like it was just really cool. So I think like maybe having a community outside of the internet and like actual tangible community where we could talk and conversation, like you were saying, how you were able to like, you know, identify with your trans sisters and figure out, okay, like maybe I need to change this and that. Like I think we need more of that, more now more than ever. And there's so much warfare going on through social media to like fuck with our brains, you know?
Also, what was the name of the league or the team?
It's trans and one, I think.
No,
Let me.
That's
I love that name.
because
It's
my friend.
raw as hell.
I don't know if Now watches, but my friend is in one in the city right now, and it's something with the D word. I don't say that word, but it's it,
Oh yeah.
it's something like that. So I'll send it when I find it. But I hope y'all play against each other. That'd be cool. I know you're smoking right now.
It's so.
I don't know.
Oh my
No, I'm
I don't know the last
not.
pickup
I'm
game you
out
played.
of shape. Yo, I'm out of shape. I'm
Really?
breathing hard. Yes, I couldn't barely handle three on
Oh, I
three. I
feel
was
that.
struggling. I'm so out of shape. I'm sore. So this one. So we went to play pickup. It's trend one. So it's like Anna, but trend one
Yes.
basketball. So we playing pickup, and it was great. I'm like, okay, I'm getting my stamina up. It's getting better. But then we went to the Maxwell concert afterwards. Maxwell and Jasmine Sullivan. And so we went to Brooklyn, went to Barclays, watched it. I get home, bro, I'm stiff. I can't walk. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm struggling. In the next morning, bro, I had the freaking thing. I'm putting on my knee, trying to
Dang.
rub the, what's it called? What's that rub that you put on your knees and stuff?
The icy hot and all that.
I struggling. I'm out
Good.
of shape. Yeah, I am.
Wait, what'd you say, Marz?
You getting the unk status. You reach
I
out
am.
was thinking it too. It's like for
to
real.
hurt yourself.
I'm unk for real. I can't move too quick because I know I'm gonna hurt something. So I'm not making any sudden movements no more, friend. But it was
so
really
awesome.
fun. I'm gonna go. It's again on Wednesday, so I'm gonna go back. So it was really
Yes.
cool meeting everybody. Yeah.
Oh
Oh
crap!
my gosh. Literally only in New York could you go to like Tran One and then a Maxwell concert. Like
Hey,
only in New York.
It was so lit. Like, it was so fun. And you forget that you old and you can't just be walking around like that because New
I
York, you
feel
just be
that.
walking. Oof.
I feel that. I stay with an ice pack near me.
Stay already. But,
Yeah.
but it was like a really cool experience. And I think like the more community I build, the more people I feel vulnerable with, the better I feel about myself. Even though I'm still working through how to just have that intrinsically. And I know it's not like a linear process, but
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so real.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, I took notes, so I wanted to review them really fast.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? It's gone now.
It's all
Right.
good.
Couldn't have been that important.
Y'all need to read this. It's so good. I know that it's
Oh,
backwards, but
that's gonna
rock
be
my soul.
my flight book. I have it on my Hoopla. Hoopla? Do you have Hoopla?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Hoopla is an app.
But it's for the library.
Oh,
You.
cool.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So but you only get a certain amount of time. Obviously, I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that. Um.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit less than the regular library, but even if you could check something out, like I think it's like 5 times in a year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, shout out Hoopla.
Wow.
So good.
Shout out to
That's
Shout
my
out to
Hoopla.
word.
Hoopla.
Eric Adams. That's what you get, Eric Adams. I'm back. Yeah, I'm back on your ass. You tried to kill the library. The library. New York Public Libraries saved me. Okay? New York Public Libraries raised
So
me.
good. So
Go
good.
on.
My mother,
Yes.
the power of reading and the library, she really instilled that in us. Like, it is such an important resource that we have that we need to protect between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was so important to me. The Brooklyn Library was my
So
whole
good.
world. It was a universe. I got to go in. So anyway, I hope you bald bastard.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you get. Try to kill the library. Putting money into go see Diddy, you freak.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Disgusting.
So much visceral. That was great.
LOL. Friend, what notes you got for us, friend? What you got written down?
Okay. I wrote okay. I said Self-esteem is not associated with outward appearances. As a creative, how I choose to look reflects my evolving self-expression based on how I feel or want to feel, not the reactions of others. It's an extension of the story. It's an extension of the story I'm narrating that day, making of myself an avatar. Great for manifesting or just creative exercise to help navigate societal norms. Esteem for me personally is attached to the level of confidence or security I have in cultivating an authentic and genuine life experience and having that affirmed by the community around me. Oh, okay, I remember why I wrote this. I remember why I wrote this because when I was thinking about self-esteem and how I felt I had a lack of it, I was asking myself, what was it at root? And I realized that a lot of it had to do with my fears that I wasn't actually going to be the person that I imagined myself to be. And that I couldn't bank my self-esteem on like how I feel when I look in the mirror, because I know for a fact that I'm not always going to feel good when I look in the mirror, and I don't want to attach my well-being to like that physical representation. Because again, even if you find yourself looking good in the mirror, you can step outside and then again be met with like contrary beliefs to yours. And now you're caught up in trying to battle how somebody makes you feel based off of how you look, when in reality, all I care about is, do I come into connection with you and feel like things are possible? Or do I feel like, oh man, like I shouldn't even try, I shouldn't even bother? Because it's like that mental warfare that will keep me in my house isolated more than if somebody thinks that I look good or not, you know? So I think for myself, I want to cultivate a self-esteem where, regardless of how I feel about society's like expectations of me or what they say can or cannot be, I still put forth the effort to create a path that is like true to my desires. And I want that to be affirmed by the people around me. And I feel like building self-esteem comes from being with like-minded individuals. Like this builds self-esteem. Even though I can feel how hot my breath is and I can feel like the plaque in the back of my teeth, I'm a little insecure about my cheekbones right now because I'm trying to get real muscular. Like my ideal since I was in middle school is like a muscle lesbian. For some reason, I've been obsessed with muscle lesbians. So I don't look like that right now. You feel me? I have no car, so a bitch been biking. Okay, I'm a little too small. You feel me? And I'm African, so everybody in my family looking at me like I'm fucked up right now. So it's just like I can't bank on that, y'all. But what I can bank on is y'all affirming me through the books that you have. You feel me? Through reminding me that the people in power, like Eric Adams, aren't shit. You feel me? So I don't need to look to him for any of it. So yeah. These things, these moments, FEMMES LRG build self-esteem. You know, just the idea of it, the fact that it can exist, I think builds self-esteem.
Nah, yeah, that's actually beautiful. First off, thank you for being vulnerable with us and telling us all the things that you wish were different, but you still show up and you still try. I think that's super relatable. When you were talking, it made me think of like my fear of failure that I have at times, where I think it's just kind of cultivated through school too, like growing up and all the standardized testing that we had. Like, it was traumatic, and it makes you feel like, I don't know, for me, it just made me feel like I'm afraid to fail, so I may not go as hard, or I may like, you know, like basically like hold my effort so I don't get disappointed when it doesn't work out the way I want to, you know? That's kind of what it made me think of when you were talking. And also I wanted to affirm you too, because I was talking to somebody I met at the basketball court, and he was this guy, he was like 60 years old. He looked really great. And he was like, yeah, I do martial arts. I'm like, oh shoot, my best friend, she does capoeira. Like, have you heard of it? And he was like, yeah, what does she look like? I was like, oh, she's like, you know, maybe a little shorter than me, kind of skinny, but like she's really great at it. Like, she's doing well. He was like, that's one of the hardest martial arts. Like, how is she doing it? I was like, I don't know. and so I just want to tell you that, like, it's crazy because we all think something's wrong with us. Like, we all think there's something we wish was better or whatever. But to someone else, you could be a hero. This man really was like, she doing that? It's tough. And I was like, yeah, my best friend do this, and she good, and she be doing sessions and stuff, and they be hyping her up. Like, So yeah,
Oh.
I think also too with self-esteem, it's just realizing that like to somebody else you could be my hero.
Same. Wait a minute.
You can do that. Y'all see the hearts?
I think you gotta click it. When I click it, it comes out.
That's crazy. Liz, how did you do that? We have been on this for like months.
One thing about us, we press record and we press stop recording. And we go to bed.
Nah, y'all's episodes be long though.
They do
One
be
button.
long. We be
You're right.
But yeah, I just wanted to affirm
Marz. Aw, damn, I really do miss you, Marz, yo. I really do.
I miss you,
man.
her.
Aw.
It's wild. But yeah, that was pretty much it though. That was pretty much it. Like, yeah, I think we all think we're struggling with something, but someone thinks you're really great. So, yeah.
I did want to touch on a little bit. You know, no one in here is a man, and you know, thankful for it. But when it comes to specifically, you know, as people of the Black experience, you know, we kind of talk about it every week, fragile masculinity and things like that. But did anyone have anything to touch on when it comes to the, as much as we can, talk about the Black male experience and when it comes to self-esteem, because it really ties into our femphobia episode, or no, femicide episode, where their unwillingness to expand their brains. I think someone said to Tyrese, like, I wish he would just rub a book on his forehead. Like, the and let's just start there. Like, I don't even say you ain't gotta crack it open enough. Just rub it on your forehead. Let's, like, they're unwilling to want to expand their worldview, and understand that their lack of self-esteem makes them angry, or makes them violent, or makes them what's the word? Impossible, insufferable. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and ignorant.
So do you have any kind of closing comments? Because we didn't really touch on the black man.
Yo, it's like,
how can you expect me to just move on from that statement?
I do the January every week. I keep it moving. I do the January every week.
Yo, I be dying, bro. Friend, you know I be going through it, cause Marz just be saying stuff, and you really just gotta focus.
This is like Tyrese's crying face. All I can see is a book being wiped across his forehead like some butter.
Ow, my stomach.
All right. I'm so glad we're not playing the laugh and you're out game that Mello and then be playing. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's like the group of different women and they have the microphone and it's like if you laugh, you're out.
Oh my gosh,
yes. I would have been gone.
To do that. If we're able to all come together.
No, we really should do that. We should do
so
that.
Good.
No, but I'm trying to think. Black cis males not reading. Yeah, in this book, she really, Bell Hooks really broke it down. Like, she really broke it down on like why Black men are miserable and why they, instead of coming together with Black women and Black people, they like want to like go against it. And a lot of it had to do with like this obsession with like capitalism. She was kind of breaking it down of like them Black men wanting to align with the white patriarchy, but also like after the civil rights movement focusing on the capitalism of it all and like equality in the making money space, and not thinking of like the equity in self-esteem and like intrinsically black people feeling okay inside and out, and like integrating without actually thinking about the work it would need dealing with white people after being segregated for so long and dealing with everything that comes with being integrated. So that was kind of part of it. In the book too, I feel like it expressed like black men are just like really trying to find self-esteem through external things and through bullying people and like trying to be this nuclear white family that white people have told us doesn't work. Um, so that's like a big part of it, from what I've seen in the book, but also in real life, seeing how these men interact and seeing how they'll willfully put us in position to be killed or rights taken away just so they can feel like for a moment that they have some type of privilege that is actually fleeting. But yeah, anybody else?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
No, you ate.
100%.
Thank you, Fred.
Yeah. No, I appreciate what you touched on with like the financial aspect of it and how it triggers like a level of psychosis in men that they're unwilling to recognize. And then the response of that is violence. Like of the relationships that I've had with black cis heterosexual men specifically, there always comes a point where that violence brews, and it's usually after they've lost a job or if they were always economically unstable and they are kind of like comparing your ability to take care of yourself with their own. And through that, they can, again, become like exploitive. And they kind of enter this, like, at least in my experience, they'll enter into this kind of like pimp versus hoe mentality where it's not like if you're the one making the money, well, the money needs to come back to me or else. And it might not like result in direct violence. I know. It might not result in direct violence, but it can result in like microaggressions or them not supporting you, them sabotaging you, them wanting to take your opportunities for their own. I literally had dissolved one of my businesses dating somebody under the impression that they were going to help me expand it, but they just turned it into their business. And I was like, oh, that's what we doing. And I've literally been left like to fend for myself on the street of New Orleans. And that resulted in violence being acted on me for a pair of shoes. Because the guy that I was seeing had a white woman who was taking care of him, who he would never claim, right? It was just, oh, she's just there because, you know, I'm unstable and da-da-da-da-da. And then she comes back around and he completely disappears, literally leaves me in the middle of Bourbon Street at like 9 p.m. and is like, I'll be right back. I'm just going to get this from her and then we'll link back up. And I never saw him again to this day. To this day, I never saw that man again. He left me for a pair of shoes and like terrible things happened to me that night. So it's really interesting because they'll be the first people to preach, oh, I protect my woman, or oh, this, and it's, again, it's all a fallacy. It's like you mentioned, it's the desire to be able to replicate a white patriarchal system that they'll never be able to. And because of their resentment, black women, trans black women, non-gender conforming black people get the brunt of that stick, because since we are more likely than not to opt out of the system and find our own ways, we get penalized because we've been able to create a new system that works for us. That's why I feel like you sense so much transphobia and homophobia from the black community, because black men are so used to having it conditioned in their minds, well, we're the ones at the bottom and you need to feel sorry for us. But it's like you can never compare your experience to a trans person of color. And now you're frustrated because something like, you know, Drag Story Hour is out as programming, which again, is supposed to be a space for queer people to affirm themselves because they're dying. And now you're bitter and upset because you think it's impacting your child in a negative way. When in reality, we could be the ones creating the space for your child to actually be themselves and not have to end their lives early because of your toxicity and your desire to recreate these standards that are hurting you, literally hurting you. So it's just, I've been single this year. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's right.
Exactly.
Because the
But
option,
these men,
gentlemen,
huh?
the other option outside of, I think, being single, if you haven't found your person, it's grim. It's grim.
I'm staying in the house. I ain't going to the street. I'm staying
I
in the house.
know.
Y'all, if you're not outside, you don't want to be outside. I'm telling you right now. I'm
sleeping
reconsider.
good. Look.
Had a little argument, whatever. Talk it through. I promise
Talk
you
about it.
don't want to be outside.
It's not safe out here. Nah, it's real messy out here. Like I think I was telling Jan, I saw this chick at 7-Eleven that I thought was cute. Thought it was gonna be a little moment. Turned out she's married with like children, so she's under the impression that I'm not doing no happy family thing right now. That's not where I'm at. So it's just, and it's like the age thing. I don't know if it's like now we're at a certain age where everybody is just fully invested in what they got going on. You right, Marz. I can't
kids in the family.
You're not trying to be the dad that stepped up.
Oh wait, that was iconic when y'all said that. Not the stepfather, but the dad that stepped up. That was
Marz.
Thank you for bringing that back up, because when I heard that, I was like, yo.
I didn't make that up, y'all. I didn't make that up.
That was good. That was good. That's crazy. I was for a second there. I was trying to be that for somebody else, but that was literally my client in the home healthcare setting.
Liz.
I know.
On that note,
I love moms. Soft spot for moms.
friend, we gonna save your job and we gonna end it right here.
Right.
Excuse me. Just kidding. Liz loves moms in the sphere. Not in any other type of way.
No, not at all.
That's not at all.
I love mothers in the way my mother was never able to love me.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
Damn, friend, we love you. I'm sorry.
That was full circle.
Full circle.
That was full circle. Wow.
Oh man, but yeah, y'all, that is our episode for today. Femininity and Self-Esteem. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. And please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment your experiences with self-esteem. If you vibe with anything we were talking about, please let us know. Look out for Marz's social media, Liz's social media. You'll see a lot of her artwork and some of the things she's doing. Follow Levels Healing Center on YouTube as well. And yeah, man, tell a friend to watch this, and let's work on our self-esteem. Let's do community work. So yeah, we love y'all, and we will see y'all next week.
Ooh, can I do a shameless plug?
Yeah, yes. Go ahead. Shameless plug.
Don't forget to catch Marz in October at Lil Indie. Stand up, y'all.
Oh my God.
I'm finna be there, so y'all need to be there. Get your laughs on. If you saw the way we was laughing today.
If this is out before October 10th, Lil Indies, 10 p.m., 10, October 10th at 10 p.m., Lil Indies. I'll producer Miles put the freaking flyer I made right there. And then, yeah, there's a sign-up sheet. It's an open mic. I'm hosting. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a small space. We got to pack it. We got to pack it real full so that people actually come back to the next one. But, oh, my God, thank you, Liz. What the freak? Why am I not talking?
Hell yeah.
Yes. I wish I could be there, but I know you're going to kill it. Hopefully Liz could send a video or something.
We're going to be outside.
All right, y'all. Well, please catch up with us when you can, and we will see y'all soon.
Bye.